Hey guys, welcome back. Hey, look who's in the studio today.
Yeah.
Old college kid, Caden.
Finally made my way back.
Oh, is school out or?
No, so ETSU closed down since all that rain and everything and all the damage. So I've had like a free week basically. Not I haven't had any power, so it's not been all that fun. But
But when he came over here today, he brought a lot of goodies. He carried some of his guns over here in his totes, his Pelican cases, and he had painted them. He had put foam inserts in there and cut out. I mean,
I've had a lot of time on my hands.
Caden, Caden did not get bored. He did stuff. He's a doer, so he kept his hands busy.
Yeah, but Chris, thanks for having me back. It's always a pleasure being here. I
Glad
have a
to
lot of
have you.
fun doing this stuff, man. It's always a good time. Today I have brought you something that I think that you are gonna like. And I don't know if it's on frame or not. Let's go ahead and reveal it. This is a first generation Walther P99. And I have wanted this gun for eons, ever since I watched Tomorrow Never Dies, the second Pierce Brosnan James Bond film. I'm a huge James Bond fan. I've got every single one on DVD. I've got a bunch of the old VHSs, and I just absolutely love these guns. Now I know this is the OD green one. It's not the original black one that you saw in the movies, but I got it on such a good deal that I just had to pick it up. Um, it's got the. You want to go right into it?
I know very little about this. I know you told me it was a James Bond gun last week, and you called and you said, "Hey, guess what I bought?" But I didn't know which Bond film you was. I've not watched a lot of Bond movies, and I didn't know where that was coming from. So I'm just now learning firsthand that. And Pierce was one of my favorite. I'm team Pierce Brosnan more than I am Daniel Craig, I guess.
Mhm.
So
Now, I like all of the James Bond movies, not all equally, but let me give you a little bit of history on this gun.
who's your favorite Bond?
Probably Roger Moore, just off a gut reaction.
He was good, but
Pierce. No, here's the thing. This might end up being more of a James Bond video than it is a Walther P99 video, but you know what I mean. Somebody will watch it.
somebody watch it.
Now, I think that Roger Moore was probably the best James Bond, but I think that Pierce Brosnan played in the best James Bond movie, Goldeneye. I think that was the best James Bond movie.
That was a good movie.
Now, Daniel Craig is also a really good one because he was in Casino Royale, and Casino Royale is a phenomenal movie. Maybe right up there with Goldeneye.
What was that other one like early '90s? What was his name? Before Pierce?
Before Pierce was Timothy Dalton.
That's right, Timothy Dalton. How
Yep.
many did he do? One.
He did two. So he did two movies. He did License to Kill and The Living Daylights, and those movies were awesome. He was like a more serious James Bond.
I loved License to Kill. That
Mhm.
was a really good film.
Those movies were great. We actually got to see another iconic Walther firearm in that movie. Chris may be able to put it up in here. It was the Walther WA-2000.
Yes.
It was the rifle in that movie.
Yeah.
You might be able to throw a picture or something up, but that's another iconic Walther gun. But so James Bond has always carried a Walther PPK. Maybe we can get a picture in here somewhere.
Oh yeah.
But starting in was it 1996 or 7 or something? Tomorrow Never Dies, the second Pierce Brosnan film, he started carrying a Walther P99, and it was kind of a big change up because he's always carried that PPK little pocket pistol, and this was like a more modern polymer striker fired handgun. And I thought it was a good change. I thought it looked great on the screen. Daniel Craig used it in Casino Royale, if you all remember. But I just absolutely love these
So
guns.
for his first Bond film, he had one of these.
So his first Bond film was Goldeneye, and in Goldeneye he still carried a PPK.
Okay.
Tomorrow Never Dies was the first one where he got the P99, and it was an all black P99. Which again, I'd really like to have one of those. Let me grab something off camera here. I've actually got now we showed clear on all these weapons before we started playing around with here. This is a Walther PPQ. It may be as close as I can get to a black P99 because they're kind of expensive now, and I'm a college student. But this is like the spiritual successor to the Walther P99, the PPQ. There's a couple of differences in there, but we're not here to talk about that. Let's talk about this gun right here, Chris. You'll see that somebody has went and put on a fiber optic front sight. I got to remove that to make it, more OEM. But the thing that I really like about this gun, Chris, is it's I would call it a double single action or a double action single action. it's got a decocker on the top up here. I wonder if I can get that focused on camera there.
Yeah.
It's got a decocker right here. And when you press that, let me see if I can watch the trigger. Well, that doesn't do anything. Anyway, whenever you do that, it moves from a single action pistol with a decocker on the top. I don't know if you can see that up there. So whenever you actually cock that gun and chamber around, then you are looking at single action. But if you hit that decocker, obviously you'll be in double action. The single action trigger pull on this, I would call it like a 2-stage trigger. So it's got an almost weightless first stage to it, and then at the very back here, it has a single action click. And I think it's an absolute dream to shoot. I love carrying this gun. I love shooting this gun, I should say, because I can't carry it because you can't really find a holster for it. But I'm just absolutely in love with this thing. I can't get enough of it. And every day I'm just sitting at my desk and I'm just playing with this thing all the time because I love it so much.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? We got to shoot this thing a little bit earlier. Chris probably shot about 20 rounds through it or so. What do you think about it when you shot it?
Oh, I think it's a fine weapon. It shot, it functioned, 100%. Feels good in the hand. I love the angle of the grip. Had a good feel to it. It don't weigh that much. It's just it's a top notch gun. It feels like quality. No wonder James Bond. No wonder that was one of his weapons. I mean, it feels 100%.
These come with with 16 round magazines. Just looks like any other double stack 9mm magazine you'd find. The thing I really like about these guns is instead of let me see if I can turn it around here. Instead of a thumb, like a button you can press to drop the mag, it has the paddles on the side. So you actually drop the mag by hitting the paddle right here, pressing that down. That was a design that was later tacked on by HK, if I understand.
I mentioned that to you that, hey, HK's come with those too, and you said that the HK probably borrowed it from Walther.
Yeah, I think is it the HK VP9 that has that, but it has the paddle release, and I really like it. I think it's ergonomic. You could probably talk all day about the benefits or the downsides of having that versus a button, but
now, what kind of chore is it going to be to swap out that front sight? Because I really don't know. I've never had a Walther or anything like that.
Not at all. I'm not going to bother doing it on camera here. But once you take the slide off, this thing, they come apart really similar to a Glock. If you know how to take down a Glock, you can take down one of these.
Yeah.
But inside of the slide up here on top, it's actually just a little hex screw. So you can unscrew this thing.
Oh, so pretty simple.
Pretty simple, yeah.
Awesome.
And I can't wait to get it back because I think this kind of kills the look of the gun. I don't know. It might just be me, but I'd like to get back to a OEM or at least an OEM style front sight.
Yeah, it has a really good feel. I mean, it like I said, it feels 100%. It's got a good feel to it. Actually shot perfect. It's a good shooter. Feels good in the hand.
I love it. I had to pick it up for the price that I found on it. Should I say how much I paid for this thing on the video?
Yeah, you're more welcome to.
So, I found this thing on an absolute steal. Now, obviously, you're looking at it. It's got some holster wear up here. I don't know how well that comes across on camera, but it's got some wear on it. It's not a pristine museum quality example of a Walther P99. But let me tell you what I gave for this gun. This gun had a sticker price. I'm going to send it to Chris. I took a picture of it when I first saw the gun. I'm going to send it to Chris. He might put it in the video. This thing had a sticker price of $350. And, what were you saying?
And that's from a local pawn shop. That just shows you, and there's still some deals out there. So what should that gun been priced at?
So looking at Gunbroker completed auctions, this is what you call a first generation Walther P99. These were made in the late 90s. First generation Walther P99 in I would call this maybe fair condition, maybe good condition. It depends on who's rating it. These go for like $650, $700 something dollars at the least. There's people online that have paid for a gun similar to this with no box, no papers or anything. They paid over $1,000. They're kind of hard to find because obviously they don't make them anymore. They haven't made them for over 20 years now. The second generation, I believe they made a lot more of those. Chris might want to fact check me on that. But yeah, these guns are kind of hard to find, and it had a sticker price of $350, and I was out the door for $381. And this thing was a steal. I mean, I'm a broke college student, but I know a deal when I see one, and I just had to get it. I stopped in there. I was kind of early going to class one day, and so I stopped in at this local pawn shop, and I was just looking around. And when I saw it in the case, my jaw dropped. But I had to go. I had to go to class. I had a group project to work on.
And I think, was it the last time you was over here, or maybe a couple times ago you was over here? He told me about he would love to find one of them, but
Oh yeah.
he couldn't afford. If he found one, he knowed he wouldn't be able to afford it.
Hmm.
He had just a week or two prior told me he had been looking for one for a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always wanted one of these guns. I'm a huge James Bond fan. I don't know what you call me, a super fan. I love the movies. I love the guns in them, and I'd love to have a black Gen 1 P99, but until then, this will do. I'm really happy with this. I mean, I'm tickled to death. I love this gun. I can't get enough of it. I sit like, probably at least 2 hours a day with it in my hand like this, just looking at it. I can't help it.
Well, that's definitely a pawn shop score. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
a lot of times you don't think about stopping checking pawn shops because you know.
I don't know why I did that day either. It was just I never go into that pawn shop. I've never found anything that I liked in there, and even if I did, it was always too expensive. But
Yeah,
I got a call in one day, and I had to stop in there.
I got a smoking deal from the same pawn shop years ago. I
Yeah.
bought kind of a treasure, and it's wow. You know, that's pretty awesome. I'm glad you found one.
I don't think they know what they had though. I think they just saw
You
maybe.
don't think they have a smartphone, internet?
I'm sure they do, but man, you can't sell this for $350. I'm glad they did. If you want to, if you're ever selling a P99 and I'm bidding on it, then 350 is a great price. But I don't think they know what they had. I think they saw a striker fired gun with a little bit of wear on it, and they said, 350, that'll do.
Yeah.
Because if they would have looked these things up for even 5 minutes, they would have knew that I was probably taking this off their hands I was just about stealing it.
Oh, he called me and he was excited. I mean, I could hear in his voice he was outside in a parking lot doing cartwheels. Hey, guess what I found? What'd you find? What we was talking about last week.
But man, I was so worried.
And this place, what, mile and a half from your house?
Not even.
Not,
Yeah,
it,
not even.
maybe. If you walked, it would seem like a mile and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's like a 12-minute walk.
it's actually the closest gun store to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right
yeah.
down the road.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild. It's a great score, great find,
Yeah.
great price.
I'm happy. If you are a James Bond fan, there are still deals to be had out there. You can still find one of these. You're gonna have to look for a while. I've been looking at Gunbroker and other auction sites and online.
So, do you have a black tux?
Oh yeah, sure
Do you drink your martinis shaken, not stirred?
I've actually. Is
that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So I've tried. You remember Casino Royale when he goes to the bar?
All I'm going to say is there's something extra damn special about them British people.
Yeah,
If you're going
they're
to
so
say something about
dignified.
martinis, maybe it's a British thing. I don't know. And I don't know.
In Casino Royale, Vesper Lind, the Bond girl in that movie, Bond, he named a drink after her, the Vesper.
Okay, yeah.
I've tried that drink before, the Vesper.
Oh, so that's actually a real drink?
Yeah, you can order that because in the movie he says, exactly what's in it. He tells the bartender exactly what he wants in it, and I could recite it here, but I might be wrong, so I don't want to.
Okay.
But I've tried that drink before, and wasn't very good. It wasn't very good at all.
Did it knock you off your feet? I mean,
It
maybe
would.
that's how he's picking up the chicks.
It would.
Put a little something up in there. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I can watch Bond films about it.
Yeah. But definitely one of these days I'm gonna find me some kind of shoulder holster for this thing, and I'm gonna walk around in a black tux all day, just acting mysterious.
Now that you mentioned that, so what's the accessory support you touched on in the beginning that the holsters are a little bit hard to find? I mean, are they out there? I mean, I know that surely they have to be.
Yeah. So if you want a holster for one of these things, you're looking at a custom order. I've found a few websites for them. The holsters are about what you would expect to pay for a modern handgun holster. They're anywhere from $75 to $120, I'd say.
Yeah,
but these
and
are
that's
all
not
going to
bad. I mean, you're going to pay money for a good quality built holster.
Yeah, and that's not a bad deal. I just paid $110 for a really good holster. I wouldn't mind to pay another one for
broke college kid. Wah. I drive a BMW and I just spent $110 for a Glock holster, guys.
Hey, you gotta put some money into whatever you're interested in. Okay?
I wish I'd went to college. Well, I could tell everybody I was broke.
Better than drugs or going to the strip club, right? At least I can get my money back out of this. I can get my money back out of this if I really wanted to.
Yeah, you're right. That I'd rather have my hands on a sexy pistol than I would drugs any day.
Yeah, me too. But I just absolutely love these things. I can't get enough. I had another point I was going to make. Let's see if I can recall it here while Chris talks.
Something about being a broke college kid, I know.
Yeah.
How we don't have no money, all this stuff.
Yeah. Listen, I picked this up for $350, and I was thinking, that's a great deal. If I ever wanted to resell it, I could do that. Of course, I'm not looking to resell it. I've never bought anything with the intention of reselling it. I buy guns to keep. But I'm happy with this. If I fell upon hard times and maybe I had a bunch of medical bills or something, I could conceivably sell this for a lot more if I needed to. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to keep this thing. I love it too much. And that's about all I got to say about it.
Well, fantastic, guys. Please continue praying for the people in Western North Carolina, Northeast Tennessee, Northeast Georgia, everybody that was affected by that storm that came through last week. Keep praying for them. I know we sure are still praying for them. And like always, thanks for watching and thanks for coming back, Caden.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's always a pleasure.